Okay, an inference is a logical guess based on analysis. So you're analyzing something, you're putting pieces together. Form inferences by analyzing objects, emotions, events, facts, ideas. Inferences are evidence-based guesses. And remember, we talked about your own schema, which is your own background knowledge. That's another part. That's what's in your brain. Okay, so this is what you have to offer, and this is what's going to be in your reading. So you put those two together, and you will get your inference. All right, let's look at these tips. Tips for making inferences. Number one, this was in your puzzle. Read it carefully. Base it on a logical guess. It's not just your personal interpretation. Think about what you already know. That's your schema. And support it with evidence from the passage. You need evidence. All right. All right, we're going to look at a few things here. I need to switch my paper because my paper has the answers on it. I don't want you to see the answers yet. All right, let's look at this. It says, Sam is a very conscientious neighbor. That word is hard for me to say. Well, hold on. He is always looking for ways to help out the people who live on his street. During the winter, he shovels the driveways of his next door neighbors. During the summer, he often mows the lawns for the elderly people who live on his street. He's cautious about how loud he plays his music, and he makes sure to never let a party at his house get out of hand. He would never want to disturb the neighbors. Based on the passage, which of the following is Sam least likely to do? So we have go pet a dog. Get a pet dog, feed a neighbor's cat, bring in mail for a neighbor. Okay, so we're using what we already know up here. You might not know this word conscientious. Like I said, it's a little hard for me to say, but think about the word conscience. Your conscience tells you what's right to do. Remember, like Jiminy Cricket in the movie Pinocchio, that's Pinocchio's conscience. So it tells you what's right to do, the right thing, even if it's maybe not the thing you want to do. So all of these things, he's thinking about other people. He shovels driveways, he mows the lawn, he doesn't want to disturb anyone, so he's cautious about how loud his music is. He never wants to disturb his neighbors. All right, so let's think about what would be the least disruptive to his neighbors. Getting a pet dog. If he got a pet dog, maybe he would have less time to help others. Also, I don't know about you, but there's some dogs in my neighborhood who bark a lot, and that would definitely disturb neighbors if he had a dog that was a big barker. Okay, if he fed a neighbor's cat, that could be helpful as long as they knew he was doing that. And the same thing for bringing in mail, that could be helpful. I don't think either of these two ideas would disturb a neighbor, right? So we're gonna make our inference say that Sam, let's say, I can infer from the reading that Sam is least likely to get a pet dog because he doesn't want to disturb, or he wouldn't want to disturb his neighbors. Okay, that's my inference. That's what I have inferred from above. That's what I think. Okay, what do I already know? Well, my background knowledge, like I mentioned up here, dogs can bark. And sometimes they bark really loud or they bark a lot, and it can disturb neighbors. Like I said, I have a neighbor whose little dog barks a lot, and it disturbs me. It's not that big of a deal, but that's something Sam definitely doesn't want to do. So that's our background knowledge. Our information from the reading is that it specifically says up here, he never wants to disturb his neighbors. Okay, the other evidence we have is that he does lots of things to help people out. If he got a dog, that's not going to help anybody out except for him. All right, let's look at the next ones. Everything seemed to be going wrong for Sarah today. It all began when she overslept. The power went off in the night and her alarm clock didn't ring at its usual time in the morning. By the time Sarah arrived at school, she had already missed first period. Then, during lunch, she spilled hot soup all over her new pants. Oh no. The only bright spot in her day was drama club, scheduled after school. After the final bell rang for the school day, she headed to the auditorium. However, once she arrived, no one was there. Okay, and it wants to know, based on the passage, what might have happened with drama club? Okay, think about that for a second. You could pause it and think about it. If you showed up for something and no one was there, what would you think? Has that ever happened to you before? Let's look at what they've said. So their inference is drama club was canceled for the day. Since Sarah was not at school during the morning announcements, she missed the announcement. That makes sense. It did say up here that she had already missed first period. And when they make an announcements, those are usually at the beginning of the day. Here's the information we can use from the reading. Everything was going wrong. She had overslept and she missed first period.